Now, to tell their side of the story is Michael Graziano himself and his attorney, Andrew Lieb. Gentlemen, thank you for making the time to be with us tonight. We have the basics of what's going on here, but can you help us fill in the blanks about what happened that day when officials banned you from school grounds, Mr. Graziano?
Yeah, I mean, I was advocating for my son to use the single occupancy bathrooms, which he had been given the year before and he was using. And then for 3 days, he wasn't able to use the bathroom and he was running home, almost peeing his pants. And for me advocating for my son, they responded by retaliating against me and banning me from all Three Village School District property.
Yeah. At what point did you learn that you were banned from, I'm sorry, yeah, at what point did you learn that you were banned from school property?
So what happened is I had a security guard in a marked unit come to my house and hand me papers and that stated that I'm no longer allowed to go on any property within the Three Village School District. And it was devastating to my family because now I missed my younger son's first cross-country game. I missed school meetings with the teachers. My daughter, who's graduating this year, I missed memories that, I'll never get back, all because I was advocating for my son, and they decided to retaliate against me. A basic human right is using the bathroom, which he had in his IEP.
Yeah. In the audio recording Mr. Lieb sent us, you can hear the distress in your voice as you talk about your son's needs not being met. You say at one point, your dog gets better treatment than your son did at school. I'm sure this has taken a toll not only on him, but your entire family. You've mentioned how you've missed out on certain events at the school. How are you all coping with this situation, and how is your son doing after all of this?
No, thank you for asking me. We're still having issues. 8 months after this, he's still having anxiety about what happened in the school. And, even my younger guy, I missed his first cross-country game. I missed memories that we'll never be able to get back. And my son is still dealing with the aftermath of, this nightmare.
Yeah. I want to turn to Andrew now. What's the next step legally here? What are you hoping to gain for the Graziano family?
Excellent question, Christian. And I just want to back up to what's going on here. A school gave an accommodation. A school didn't honor the accommodation. They had an assembly and they said, hey, no one can use this single occupancy bathroom. This kid, a young kid in school, he was told he could use it. Now he can't use it. Day 1 that happens, day 2 that happens, day 3 that happens. Fortunately, my client right over here is a former police officer and knew to record his conversations. And he was able to prove he didn't threaten anyone. He didn't make anything that they're alleging to intimidate. And so they retracted after almost 3 months. Almost 3 months, they retracted this retaliatory ban on the property. So what we did is we filed 2 complaints with the New York State Division of Human Rights, which is a place that you could advocate for discriminatory complaints. And I can't tell you what emotional distress my client's been through. The loss of dignity for his son, that he had to hold it in. I can't tell you. I don't know how you measure that number. But beyond that, beyond the fact that there's rights in New York State, we want the school to create a vessel for other students, like the Graziano's kids, to be able to have parents advocate. Don't parents have choice? Don't they have rights? And why are they getting retaliated against? That's the real message here. We need to welcome parents to our schools, not push them away. And thankfully, New York State has a law to protect against retaliation.
Yeah. Mr. Graziano, I want to turn to you real quick. I know that this happened months ago, but in kind of going back over the situation and how it played out, is there anything you feel that you would have done differently to ensure that your son, could have exactly what he needed? Is there anything that you feel like could have played out differently here in this situation, aside from the school kind of honoring the accommodations that they said they would give to your son?
Yeah, I actually had met with the principal and the assistant principal, Dawn, not Noodle, and spoke with them about the the issues with the bathroom and that he had this on his IEP. And they did nothing. She even told me that she was going to meet with him the next day and talk to him about it, and she never did that. And then that following day, he was denied the single-use bathroom by the hall monitor. So in my mind, I tried everything that I could to, let the school know what was going on. And they decided that, okay, you know what, we're going to retaliate against Mr. Graziano and his family and hurt us the way they did.
Yeah. Just for the audience, could we clear up what IEP stands for? I understand there might be some folks who don't know the terminology. What does IEP stand for?
You can handle.
Sure. It's an individualized educational program. So that was an accommodation that was put on his official individualized educational program the year before, because he was having issues with the bathroom and needed to use a single-use bathroom. So the school, we had this accommodation from the prior year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we hear about situations like this far too often. Students in need of accommodations at school who aren't getting them. How can we do better to give these children what they need and deserve? And how can we ensure that your son's incident isn't repeated elsewhere?
Well, there's a great answer to that, Christian. And thankfully, it's because of the U.S. Supreme Court this year, the SCOTUS. Previously, when you had something like we were talking about the IEP or a 504 plan, and we were dealing with kids that had special needs in the school, all you could do is you could sue to get a hearing and to get a plan for them, but you couldn't get damages. So what was the school's risk? Fortunately, the U.S. Supreme Court clarified this year that the Americans with Disabilities Act applies, and emotional distress can be compensated. In our system, we have a retroactive system, and we'd love to hope that everyone does everything the right way. But unless your ability to put people in check and get compensation for those people that were wronged, no one's going to change their behavior. Money talks in the U.S., and the Supreme Court opened the door for the ADA to allow suits like ours across the United States. New York was a forerunner on that. We've had Executive Law 296-4, which has allowed that for some time now. But hopefully the rest of the United States and everyone out there that's been discriminated against based on their disability in school, in the workplace, knows that they have rights and they can sue and get something done, get remuneration, get being told they're right, be heard, be justified.
Attorney Andrew Lieb and Michael Graziano, thank you both so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.